In Pompeii, people use coins minted by Titus, the emperor of our story, as well as coins from previous emperors, like his father Vespasian, or even the famous first emperor Augustus. How much does it cost? In Pompeii, 1 kilo of wheat cost half a sesterce. A liter of ordinary wine costs 1 sesterce, and a tunic costs 15 sesterces. A worker The emperor and his workers oversee the coin-making process. Several steps are required. First, a worker melts the metal, gold, silver, bronze, or copper, and lets it cool. Then he cuts it into small rounds called blanks. Then, an artisan engraves metal molds called dias, depicting images of the emperor or Roman gods. Then, a worker heats each blank, places it between two dias, and strikes it hard with a hammer to imprint the designs onto the blank. The coin is now ready. Finally, the coins must be inspected to ensure they are free of defects. They are then used to buy food, pay soldiers, or trade goods.
Here is what the famous Latin poet Virgil says. Aeneas, the prince of Troy who descends from the goddess Venus, arrives in the Lazio region of Italy. His distant descendant, king of the city of Alba, was chased from the throne by his brother. This evil brother forces Rhea Silvia, the king's daughter, to become a Vestal, that is to say, a priestess who must remain celibate. But Rhea Silvia is seduced by the god Mars. She gives birth to 2 twins, Romulus and Remus. Her evil uncle wants to make these 2 children disappear. His guard places their cradle on the river, the Tiber. The cradle stops near the Palatine Hill. A she-wolf finds the babies and gives them her milk. Then shepherds take them into their home and raise them. As adults, Romulus and Remus want to found a city in the place where they grew up. They call on the omens. These priests tell them that the king of this city will be the one who sees the most birds passing by. But they do not agree on the number of birds seen, so they fight. Romulus kills Remus. Thus he becomes the founder of Rome. Hercules is the son of Jupiter, the king of the gods, and of a mortal woman. Jupiter's jealous wife, Juno, drives him crazy at one point, and he kills his own children. To be forgiven by the gods, he must obey the king of Mycenae by performing exploits. Hercules must kill a lion which is ravaging the region of Nemea. This animal is so strong that the hero's arrows and sword do not even hurt it. Hercules then pursues him into his lair, where, thanks to his phenomenal strength, he strangles him. Then he cuts the animal's skin with one of its claws and uses it as a protective coat. Hercules must defeat a Hydra, a multi-headed monster that lives in the marshes of Lerna. Every time he cuts off a monster's head, 2 more grow back. He then asks his cousin for help. He cuts off the heads, and his cousin burns the scars so that the heads do not grow back. This is how the Hydra dies, and our hero can dip his arrows in the poisonous blood of the beast. Hercules must capture the doe of Cerynea with its golden horns, which travels at spectacular speed. He chases her for a year before finally succeeding in shooting her with an arrow while she takes a break in a meadow. He aims so well that the arrow immobilizes his legs without hurting her. Hercules must capture the wild boar that lives on the mountain of Erymanthus. The animal destroys everything in its path with its sharp metal tusks. Our hero decides to wear him out running. He pursues it for a long time. The animal ends up falling to the bottom of a large hole in the snow. Hercules hoists him up with a rope, ties him up, and takes him to Mycenae, where the king gets scared. Hercules must clean in one day the stables of King Augeas, which have never been cleaned. He climbs a hill to observe the region and decides to make a dam on the river, which passes near the stables. It thus diverts this river, which crosses the stables and cleans them all by itself. Hercules must hunt the birds of Lake Stymphale, which attack humans with their bronze beaks, claws, and feathers. Minerva gives him bronze cymbals. He hides and bangs these large cymbals. The birds, frightened by the enormous noise, fly away, and our hero pierces them with his big arrows. Hercules must bring back alive the bull from the island of Crete, where King Minos reigns. This wild bull terrorizes the inhabitants and destroys everything in its path. The hero confronts him in a clearing, turning him around and around, then jumps on his back, ties him up, and brings him to the king. Hercules must tame King Diomedes' mares, who feed on human flesh. When he arrives, he knocks out the mares, who are finishing their horrible meal. Diomedes runs up with a club. The two men fight. Hercules ends up knocking Diomedes out and throws him to his mares, which devour him. Hercules must bring back the belt of Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. At first, he encounters no difficulty because the queen falls in love with him and gives him her belt. But Juno, the queen of the gods and enemy of the hero, makes the Amazons believe that Hercules actually wants to kidnap their queen. The hero, surrounded by enemies, must then kill Hippolyta to grab his belt and flee. Hercules must fetch the oxen of Geryon, a terrible giant with 3 heads and 3 trunks. He begins by knocking out the dog guarding the herd. Geryon, furious, takes his 3 helmets, his 3 shields and his 3 spears and pursues our hero, who shoots him a poisoned arrow before leaving with the oxen. Hercules must bring back the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. Atlas, a giant who carries the celestial vault on his shoulders, offers to go and find them by neutralizing the dragon if Hercules wants to replace him to carry the sky. When Atlas returns with the 3 golden apples, Hercules gives him back the celestial vault by making him believe that it will only be for an instant, just enough time to readjust his position. But in fact, he takes the apples and leaves, leaving the sky on Atlas's shoulders. Hercules must bring Cerberus to Mycenae, the 3-headed dog with the dragon's tail who guards the underworld. He advances towards the enormous dog who takes refuge behind the throne of his master Hades, the god of the underworld. The hero, protected by his lion skin, leaps at Cerberus. He squeezes the dog's neck, ready to suffocate it. Hades then authorizes Hercules to take him to the palace of the king of Mycenae, who, panicked, asks Hercules to bring Cerberus back to the underworld. Hercules does not fight any wolf in his 12 labours. Hercules does not fight any wolf in his 12 labours.
Enter the Basilica. Great entertainment. People discuss business, exchange news, talk about politics, or the latest gladiators and actors who have become stars. At the back of the room you will see the Judases, the judges who enforce the laws. We do not like them very much here, and we sometimes even throw rotten fruit at their faces.
Suffragium. It is election day in Pompeii. Look, the cives. The citizens of the city arrive on the forum. They are discussing politics. Who will be the two elected Duervi as leaders of the city? We hear the names of the most important families. Then everyone puts their vote in the ballot box. Your father is already Doomvir. Do you think he will be re-elected today?
Negotium, business. Near the Porta Marina, the marine gate, lots of goods arrive from the port. We shout, we jostle. What are you going to buy for your parents? Products imported from the Orient that smell good, for example, spices or perfumes, or magnificent silk clothes from China, or the good cereals that arrive by boatload from Egypt. And then, look at the products from Pompeii, which are sold throughout the Mediterranean. Vesuvinum, the wine from the slopes of Vesuvius, or garum, the famous dried fish sauce.
This beautiful white marble statue represents the goddess Venus, the goddess of beauty and love, who is often prayed to in Pompeii. You can find her in the side quest of the Roman gods in front of the building of Eumachia, at the beginning of the Decumanus Maximus, the main street which leaves the Forum. These stone statues represent the three gods of the temple of Jupiter. In the centre, Jupiter, the king of the gods and the god of the sky. On the right, his wife Juno, the goddess of marriage, and on the left, his daughter Minerva, the goddess of wisdom. You also find them in the Roman god's side quest. This beautiful white marble statue represents the goddess Venus, the goddess of beauty and love. This marble statue represents the famous hero of the 12 labours, Hercules. You can follow his adventures on the same wall of the Eumachia building. This famous bronze statue of the god Apollo, the god of the arts, is placed in the courtyard of his temple, next to the Forum. If you choose the Forum quest, you will find the lyre he held in his hands. This small bronze statue, which decorates a rich house in the northern district, shows a dancing faun. A faun is a small mythological character who accompanies the god of wine, Bacchus. He too is in the side quest of the gods. This marble bust shows Empress Poppaea. Born in Pompeii, she was the second wife of Emperor Nero. The Sabinus family of our story descends from this Poppaea. This marble statue represents Titus. He is the emperor of the time of our history. This statue represents Marcus Rufus Holcolonius, a famous politician from Pompeii. It is the ancestor of our Holconius, the one of the graffiti side quest. This statue represents Priestess Eumachia near her large building in the Forum. She takes care of the cult of the Emperor, as you can discover in the Forum quest. This altar for sacrifices in honor of the Emperor is located in the Forum. Its bas-relief decoration, it is a sculpture which stands out a little on a flat surface, shows the preparation of the sacrifice of a bull. But in our Forum quest, we see another animal. To build a temple, start by drawing a plan. A temple is the house of a god. Draw a rectangular room that will house his or her statue and place columns there to decorate it. In front of the entrance to the room, draw a covered terrace supported by columns. And since the temple is placed on a podium, put stairs to access it. Do you want to cover a terrace? Rest its roof on columns. Do you want to separate a large interior space? Put rows of columns. Do you want shade around your square garden? Use columns to support a covered gallery. To choose the style of the columns, play a little game of differences. Look at the capitals. This is the top of the columns: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Did you take a closer look? So what is the simple square marquee? The one which has swirls like a woman's hair, and which one is decorated with leaves of a plant called acanthus? Do you want to build the walls of a building? Choose the materials. Terracotta bricks? Cut stones of different colours? A mixture of the two? Add a brilliant invention, concrete, which will fill the voids and make the whole thing very solid. Finally, to make the walls beautiful to look at, cover them with a white marble powder called stucco. Do you want to build a triumphal arch, a bridge, or a large gate to enter the city? Use a semicircle shape for the top of the passage. This arch will help distribute the weight of the construction, and it will be very elegant. We are at the start of the famous Trojan War between the Greeks and the Trojans. The Greek boats cannot leave because the winds are not favourable. The leader of the Greek kings, Agamemnon, questions the soothsayer. What to do? The priest replies that it is necessary to sacrifice the first living being that Agamemnon sees when he leaves. Horror! It's his daughter, Iphigenia. She therefore prepares to be sacrificed. But at the last minute, Diana, the goddess of the hunt, takes pity on her and replaces her with a doe. The god of wine, Bacchus, born from the thigh of Jupiter, travels the world to bring the cultivation of the vine. Here you see him dressed in grapes, fertilizing Mount Vesuvius with his stick. The region's wine will be abundant, and we will be able to party. The big snake is a good genie. His power, which comes from the earth, protects the mountain. Oh, the skull is sinister. It reminds us that the wheel is turning. Memento mori. Remember that you are going to die one day. And at that moment, we will all be equal. Whether we wear rich clothes like on the left, or poor ones like on the right. Flutes, castanets, tambourines. These travelling musicians have what it takes to liven up the streets with their colourful clothes and masks. Beware of the dog. This black and white mosaic is placed at the entrance to certain houses to warn visitors. This immense war scene, measuring 6 meters by 3 meters, is made up of 4 million tesserae. These small stones cut in several colours. Unfortunately, it is damaged. It shows the famous battle of Issus between the conqueror Alexander the Great, king of Macedonia, and his enemy Darius III, great king of the Persians. What a battle! On the left, Alexander bareheaded. On his horse, he is attacking. On the right, Darius on his chariot, surrounded by his soldiers, armed with spears. His horses are panicked. They are fleeing. What a sense of observation for these marine animals, and what variety! No two are alike. It's like being in a fish market. As a child, the god of wine, Bacchus, Dionysus for the Greeks, went to India to bring the cultivation of vines there. There he tamed wild animals like this tiger lion. Gods are strong, even in their childhood. The surrounding frame is decorated with theatrical masks because Dionysus is also the god of theatre. Pretty or not pretty? This lady with her jewellery and her serious demeanour? In any case, she is surely proud to show her portrait to her friends in her house. It's like it were to be her photo.